Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Eerie Echo Chamber of Yarmouth Castle. Holly Arnold had always been fascinated by the supernatural. As a seasoned paranormal investigator, she had traveled the globe seeking out the most haunted and mysterious places. Yet, nothing could have prepared her for the chilling experience she was about to face at Yarmouth Castle on the Isle of Wight. The castle, perched precariously on the island's western shore, had stood for centuries, its ancient stones bearing witness to countless secrets and stories. However, there was one part of the castle that even the bravest locals dared not enter, the Echo Chamber. The chamber was a subterranean room, hidden deep within the castle's bowels, rumored to amplify supernatural phenomena to terrifying levels. It was said that the chamber's acoustics were so unique that whispers from the spirit world could be heard clearly, echoing endlessly. Intrigued by the legends and eager to uncover the truth, Holly assembled a team of experienced investigators. There was Marcus, a tech specialist with an array of gadgets designed to detect paranormal activity, Laura, a medium sensitive to the presence of spirits, and Tom, a historian with extensive knowledge of the castle's dark past. Together, they made their way to the Isle of Wight, their destination shrouded in mist and mystery. Upon their arrival, they were greeted by the castle's caretaker, an elderly man named Edgar. His eyes, clouded with age and fear, warned them of the dangers that lay ahead. "The Echo Chamber is not a place for the living," Edgar rasped, his voice trembling. "Many have ventured in, but few have returned. Those who did were never the same." Undeterred, Holly and her team pressed on. They set up their equipment in the castle's main hall, preparing for the descent into the chamber. As night fell, the castle's ancient stones seemed to come alive, groaning under the weight of centuries. The entrance to the Echo Chamber was hidden behind a massive, rusted door in the deepest part of the castle. With considerable effort, they forced it open, revealing a narrow staircase spiraling down into darkness. Holly led the way, her flashlight cutting through the thick gloom. The chamber itself was unlike anything they had ever seen. The walls were covered in strange, runic symbols, and the air was thick with an oppressive, otherworldly energy. At the center of the room stood a large, stone altar, its surface etched with more of the mysterious runes. Marcus set up his equipment, while Laura closed her eyes, attempting to sense any spirits present. Almost immediately, she was overwhelmed by a flood of emotions, fear, anger, and despair. "There are so many of them," she whispered, her voice shaking. "So many lost souls trapped here." As they began their investigation, strange phenomena started to occur. Cold spots moved around the room, disembodied whispers filled the air, and the walls seemed to pulse with an eerie light. Holly felt a growing sense of unease, as if they were being watched by unseen eyes. Suddenly, the room was plunged into darkness. Marcus's equipment went haywire, detecting an enormous spike in paranormal activity. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, forming a cacophony of voices that echoed endlessly in the chamber. Laura screamed, collapsing to the ground as she was overwhelmed by the spirit's presence. Holly rushed to her side, but before she could reach her, the altar began to glow with an unnatural light. The runes on its surface pulsed and twisted, forming a swirling vortex of energy. "It's a portal," Tom exclaimed, his voice filled with dread. A portal to the spirit realm. As they watched in horror, shadowy figures began to emerge from the vortex, their forms shifting and writhing. These were no ordinary spirits. They were malevolent entities drawn to the portal by the promise of escape into the mortal world. "We have to close it," Holly shouted, her voice barely audible over the din. "We can't let them through." Desperately, they searched for a way to seal the portal. Marcus, frantically adjusting his equipment, discovered that the runes on the altar held the key. If they could disrupt the pattern, they might be able to close the portal. With no time to lose, Holly and Tom began to scrape away at the runes, their hands trembling with fear. The entities grew more aggressive, lashing out at them with ghostly tendrils. One of the shadows wrapped around Holly's arm, its touch icy and painful. She fought to free herself, her determination unwavering. Just as the portal's edges began to widen, ready to spill the entities into their world, Marcus managed to disrupt the final rune. There was a blinding flash of light, and the portal collapsed with a deafening roar, sucking the entities back into the spirit realm. The chamber fell silent, the oppressive energy dissipating. They were left in darkness, the only sound their ragged breathing. Slowly, they made their way back up the staircase, emerging into the night air, shaken but alive. The echoed chamber had taken its toll, but they had succeeded. The portal was closed, and the malevolent entities were once again confined to the spirit realm. Holly knew that the experience had changed them all, leaving scars that would never fully heal. As they left Yarmouth Castle, the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon, Holly glanced back at the ancient structure. The echoed chamber's secrets would remain buried, a testament to the thin veil between the living and the dead, and a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of perception. The journey back to the mainland was a somber one. The team, once filled with eager anticipation, now sat in reflective silence. The events within the echoed chamber weighed heavily on their minds, each of them grappling with the harrowing experience in their own way. Holly, in particular, felt a profound sense of responsibility. She had led her team into the depths of Yarmouth Castle, and the encounter with the malevolent entities had left an indelible mark on her soul. In the weeks that followed, Holly found it difficult to resume her normal life. Nightmares plagued her sleep, visions of the writhing shadows and the haunting whispers echoing in her mind. She spent hours poring over the footage and data collected during their investigation, searching for any clues that might explain what they had encountered. One evening, while reviewing the audio recordings, Holly noticed something unusual. Among the cacophony of voices, a single phrase stood out, repeated over and over again in a faint, chilling whisper, "The gate remains." A cold shiver ran down her spine. Could the portal in the echoed chamber still be active, even after they had seemingly closed it? Determined to uncover the truth, Holly contacted Marcus, Laura, and Tom, urging them to meet her. They gathered in Holly's apartment, the atmosphere tense with a mixture of dread and curiosity. "I found something in the recordings," Holly began, playing the eerie whisper for them. "It keeps saying the gate remains. I think the portal might still be open, or at least not fully closed." Marcus looked concerned, his mind racing with the implications. "If that's true, it means those entities could still find a way to escape." Laura, her face pale, nodded. "I can still feel them. Their presence is faint, but it's there, lingering on the edges of our world." Tom, ever the pragmatist, spoke up. "We need to go back. If the portal is still active, we have to find a way to close it for good." Despite their fears, the team agreed. They couldn't allow the malevolent entities to break free into the mortal realm. Preparations were made quickly, and soon they found themselves on the ferry back to the Isle of Wight, the shadow of Yarmouth Castle looming ever closer. Upon their arrival, they were met once again by Edgar, the caretaker. His expression was one of resigned acceptance, as if he had known they would return. "The castle's secrets are not easily tamed," Edgar said gravely. "Be careful. The echoed chamber is a place of great darkness." With Edgar's warning echoing in their minds, they descended once more into the castle's depths. The air grew colder and more oppressive with each step, the walls seeming to close in around them. When they reached the rusted door, Holly felt a wave of dread wash over her. She steeled herself, pushing the fear aside, and led the way into the chamber. This time the echoed chamber felt different. The air was thicker, the energy more volatile. The runes on the altar pulsed faintly, as if alive. Holly could sense the entities watching them, their malevolent intent palpable. Marcus set up his equipment, aiming to measure the paranormal activity. The readings were off the charts, confirming their worst fears. The portal was still active, albeit weak and unstable. "We need to disrupt the runes again," Tom said, his voice steady despite the tension. "But we have to be thorough this time." As they began their work, the room seemed to come alive with a dark energy. Shadowy figures flitted at the edges of their vision, and the whispers grew louder, more frantic. Laura, focusing her abilities, tried to communicate with the spirits, seeking any information that might help them. Suddenly, a powerful force knocked her to the ground. Holly rushed to her side, but an invisible barrier seemed to repel her. The entities were growing more aggressive, desperate to protect their link to the mortal realm. "Keep working," Holly shouted, trying to maintain her composure. "We have to close it." Tom and Marcus continued to scrape away at the runes, their movements frantic. Holly joined them, using a small chisel to deface the symbols. The energy in the room reached a fever pitch, the shadows coalescing into a single, terrifying form, a towering figure of darkness, its eyes burning with malevolent intent. The entity advanced towards them, its presence overwhelming. Holly felt an icy grip around her throat, the life being slowly squeezed from her. She fought against the darkness, her vision blurring, but she refused to give up. With a final, desperate effort, she drove the chisel into the center of the altar. There was a blinding flash of light, and a deafening roar filled the chamber. The rune shattered, and the portal imploded, sucking the malevolent entity back into the void. The force of the collapse sent them sprawling, the oppressive energy dissipating in an instant. Silence fell over the chamber, broken only by their ragged breaths. The portal was closed, this time for good. Holly lay on the cold stone floor, her body trembling from the ordeal. They had succeeded, but the cost had been high. As they made their way out of the echoed chamber, the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon, Holly felt a sense of closure. The malevolent entities were banished, and the portal was sealed. The echoed chamber's secrets would remain buried, a testament to their bravery and resilience. Yet, as they left Yarmouth Castle behind, Holly couldn't shake the feeling that their encounter with the supernatural had left a lasting mark. The line between the living and the dead had been crossed, and the echoes of the dark night would haunt them forever. But in the face of such darkness, they had stood firm, proving that even in the shadow of fear, there was strength to be found. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had a great day.